Welcome to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft and I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. I got a great one for you today as we're going to be traveling over to the CBS, taking a look at Chris Trapasso's mock draft. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this sucker, as it is going to be reverse Super Bowl odds, or at least that's what the line here says, FanDuel Super Bowl odds, but in reverse order, which probably means Carolina Panthers will be pick one. They are, and it's going to be Carson Beck. So this is the second mock draft in a row, I guess, for us that we've seen the Panthers go with Carson Beck, as I do think he is I would say him and Shedeur are probably the highest floor quarterbacks in this class. You can make a case there's some guys on the outside kind of looking in, just kind of need bigger sample sizes from a few of those guys, but I mean, I get it. You just benched Bryce Young. I don't think it's the end all be all. I think he's going to get another year to get it right. And at that point, he's either going to you're going to see encouraging signs, or maybe he's bad enough to get you a high pick in the 2026 draft, which might be a better quarterback draft. But again, I'm just kind of low on the quarterback draft as it stands now. Could be a different story by the end of the process. Not saying I don't see a first round quarterback in this class. I don't see a top 10 quarterback in this class just yet, but I just don't feel great about one as it stands. The New York Giants go with Miller Moss. Holy schmoly. Okay. Let's go. So Danny Dimes ain't the guy, and they go out and get the guy here. The Giants make no mistake here, at least with the position they're targeting. Moss has displayed flashes of NFL caliber skills at USC, and his head coach has a long history of producing quarterbacks the NFL loves in the draft. I mean, dude, Miller Moss, he waited it out. He waited his time, and his time is now. I did talk about a couple of guys who just have small sample sizes that we're just kind of waiting on. In particular, I was just kind of talking about Garrett Nussmeier, but yeah, I guess we should talk about the guy that beat Garrett Nussmeier in the season opener, Miller Moss. I don't have a full eval for him yet. I've only I've only seen last year's bowl game against Louisville, and then all we really have is the LSU game. He will be going into Ann Arbor. That's going to be kind of a big matchup, actually, for him. Going into Ann Arbor, taking on Michigan, and if he does really well, because I don't think he's kind of along the same lines. Doesn't have an elite NFL arm. Probably it's probably better than, I would say, Carson Beck. Maybe a little stronger, but we don't have the showcase of, or at least the sample size of is he him when it comes to anticipation, running the offense? And I mean, through the first 2 games of the year, it's kind of been the case. So maybe, man, maybe. When it comes to Garrett Nussmeier, because I don't know, maybe we see Garrett in this draft. I think he's got a good arm. I think he's probably got the biggest arm compared to guys like Moss and Beck. We have seen him tested downfield. And honestly, decision making, accuracy on the run, there's some concerns there, but I do think Nussmeier is an NFL quality quarterback. Did you know if you go to Underdog Fantasy and sign up with promo code Broshmo, they will match your first deposit up to $250? You did? Well, I'm glad I told you, because Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play weekly best ball, or my favorite, higher or lower on player props, and they already got props out for week 3 of the NFL. So get in on the action with Underdog Fantasy. Go there, sign up using promo code Broshmo, and of course, my friends, bet responsibly and bet within your means. Let's keep rolling. We got the Denver Broncos going with Travis Hunter, and they're going to list him as corner here. Hunter has been sensational on both sides of the ball to begin the 2024 season. Cornerback, receiver, Hunter can do it all. He's the type of weapon the Broncos need. Okay, but you list him at corner, I imagine he's going to be a wide receiver. I mean, I'm just stuck on that whole, he's probably going to go with the position that makes more money. But that might not be the case. I do kind of fall in line with, I think he's a better corner than he is wide receiver. Though I do think that's starting to kind of close in because he's been fabulous at wide receiver regardless. I mean, I think you're probably going to be using him as a wide receiver here for Denver. That's kind of a position of dire need for them. The New England Patriots take Mikael Williams out of Georgia Edge. The Patriots are building for the long haul, and they get a rawish, immense upside defensive lineman and Williams to pair up with Keon White up front. Keon White was honestly doing a lot of his damage from like the B gap and the interior, kind of working as like a 4-eye tech. But yeah, I think you'd still go with the tackle here. Like if the tackle's available, go for the tackle, right? But like Mikael, I'm kind of like off the. Is there maybe a top 10 edge player in this class? I just think there's more like maybe much like we saw last year. We didn't see a defensive player come off the board until pick 15. And we saw the edge talent kind of go in the middle of that first round. And I think this class could be similar in that regard. When it comes to Mikael Williams, just doesn't have the consistency. He is a lot of tools, though. Nick Scorton going to the Tennessee Titans. Oh, that's kind of fun. Scorton is a wide, gritty rusher with inside-outside capabilities. Light feet for a defensive lineman, 20 or 30 pounds lighter. Yeah, because they list him at 285. I feel like he's probably playing around 275. But, I mean, regardless, he moves really well at that size. He's coming together as a technician. He's kind of had a couple of down weeks where the production hasn't been huge, to be fair. Didn't play a lot versus McNeese. But Florida did a good job of kind of not neutralizing him, but kind of mitigating the damage. Again, just when it comes to the edge position, I'm just not in on a, maybe I should say like top 7 guy. But regardless, I love Skirton. He was my edge one to start the year. He could definitely turn it on as the year goes on. Will Johnson going to the Washington Commanders. He's my number 1 overall prospect. He's great. He's a corner 1. He's prospect 1. The Commanders could definitely use some cornerback help. Desperately, direly. They got, honestly, Benjamin St. Juice is the only like encouraging part you've seen thus far from that cornerback room. So that would be a phenomenal pick. Everybody loves the NFL draft, and I know you want to be familiar with every potential prospect that your team may draft. So I got good news for you. My draft guide is available for purchase. It is good throughout the entire draft cycle, and it updates through the season regularly. You'll get my current evals and rankings on hundreds of different players with player backgrounds and analytics. It also contains combine and pro day numbers, as well as my notes from the Senior and Shrine Bowl. You can purchase it for a one-time payment of $30 on PayPal, Venmo, and now I have the Cash App. Follow the link in the description and be sure to include your email because it is a Google spreadsheet. That is how I share it with you. So please don't make me hunt down your email. Just don't do it. Anywho, it's a great purchase and it's a great way to support the channel. Pick 7, Raiders go with Cam Ward. Here we go. We're getting some names we don't typically see, and I like it. I love it. I'll take it. Ward doesn't have freaky traits, but he's been uber efficient to begin the year for Miami. There are glimmers of athleticism when forced from the pocket, and he'll enter the NFL very experienced. I wonder what he means by freaky traits. Maybe talking about like mechanically. But like the dude can sling it. He's got an arm. Going to the Raiders here would be hella fun. Oh god, Cam Ward's definitely in that quarterback 1 discussion though. Like he's had a really good start to the year, obviously with the very impressive game against Florida. I don't believe the Sketty is that tough right now for Miami. I think they face Cal. Is it this week or does Miami have a bye? Take a look. Miami Hurricanes football schedule. Take a look at the Sketty. No, that's right. They got South Florida this week, and then they take on Virginia Tech, and then Cal on October 5th. Okay. But they do got a nice little meaty, like, don't sleep on Cal, man. Cal's out here winning games now, but they do get Louisville on the 19th of October. So that's going to be probably the first big game to look out for. You can make a case for Florida State, but Florida State's kind of pee-pee poo-poo. Georgia Tech, at Georgia Tech, November 9th. It's kind of huge for the Hurricanes. Don't sleep on Syracuse on November 30th. But, wow, this schedule is actually looking relatively easy now that Florida State's kind of pants. So, yeah, we could be talking about Ward as a first-round quarterback, but also quarterback one. Pick 8, Jonah Savanea going to the Rams. So they listed him as a tackle without a clear-cut number 1 offensive tackle in this class. There is room. What? What do you mean? Not a clear-cut. Like, Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks are kind of clear-cut for me. And if anything, Savanea, I get the size, but you feel like he might have a better skill set for a guard. He'd be a good fit with his movement skills there for McVay, though they have been using more gap schemes, but I mean, he's got the play strength for it. Wow, yeah, I haven't seen him this high, so cool. Luther Burden going to the Colts. More youthful offensive weapons for Anthony Richardson with nifty explosive Burden. I don't like this. There's bigger concerns here. Give me like Benjamin Morrison here to help that secondary room. I will take Malachi Starks. I'll take defensive line help at this juncture. Mason Graham. Like, you're kind of loaded at wide receiver right now. They're about to get Josh Downs back as well. Like, they're kind of loaded at wide receiver. Pick 10, not the Indianapolis Colts, but the Jacksonville Jaguars. They go Kelvin Banks, tackle out of Texas. This makes sense to me. You got Walker Little, Cam Robinson. They're free agents. Even if they weren't, you're kind of let down by the tackle position. Honestly, on both sides, Anton Harrison has not had a great start to the year. So Kelvin Banks would be a good pick. He is my tackle 1 currently. At pick 11, James Pierce Jr. going to the Cardinals. This is like my favorite pick to make for the Cardinals because it's just typically a good spot to start the edge, the edge class, right? But Cardinals, I don't think they have the pass rusher, though Gardeck, man, is playing out of his mind. But they could definitely use some more firepower on defense, mainly that defensive front 7. We got pick 12. It's the Chicago Bears, and oh my gosh, Will Campbell. I mean, hey, if you've fallen. Campbell hasn't been anywhere as dominant to begin 2024. He had a good matchup with Dylan Stewart. Like, he was great the first couple of weeks. And then had a good matchup against Dylan Stewart. What are we talking about here? Yet the Bears make this selection with his upside in mind. Okay, that's interesting. I feel like interior is kind of the big problem here for the Bears right now. Though not to say Darnell Wright has been playing great. He kind of had a rough outing against the Texans, but to be fair, that whole offensive line had a rough outing against the Texans. I mean, you could be looking to the future at left tackle, move on from Braxton Jones, but isn't that what Kieran Amagaji, what you're hoping to develop? But I mean, he was a day 2, day 3 pick. I can't remember if he went 3rd or 4th. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I'm not against it. We got Tetero McMillan going to the Browns. Absolute steal. Mari Cooper and Elijah Moore are probably gone after this year. You really know nothing about Cedric Tillman. He ran a lot of routes last year, but that was about it. So, yeah, getting another receiver there with Jerry Jeudy would be kind of clutch. We got Malachi Starks going to the Vikings. Hello. They got a lot of... They got good safeties for the Vikings. I wonder, actually, what does their free agency look like? Vikings 2025 free agents. All right. So they're 25. I'm trying to look for the defensive back end. So Cameron Bynum and Harrison Smith are free agents. Harrison Smith still playing good football, but he's up there in years. So man, there's maybe a good case to be like, hey, let's send it. Let's draft another Georgia safety, and hopefully he's not Lewis Seen. I don't imagine Starks will be, but I think I'd rather go with the corner position if I'm the Vikings, and that's how safeties end up falling in the draft. What can I say? Jador Sanders going to the Steelers at pick 15. Listen, like, Fields is a free agent after the year. Russell Wilson's a free agent after the year. It makes sense to go after quarterback if they don't extend one of those two, and if you're going to extend one, it's probably going to be Fields. But you can't say his play. He's played within the offense, and he's not putting the ball in harm's way. But you can't say like his play encourages that you got a top 15 quarterback in the league. It just doesn't. So maybe you take that shot in the draft. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, next on the clock, they go Deion Walker. Okay, trying to get a big, meaty boy to play next to Vita Vea. I think I'd rather go for edge talent. You can make a case for a corner, though Zion McCullum's coming off a really good game. I wouldn't be opposed to Emory Jones coming in and play, well, I guess he'd be playing left guard because you got Cody Mock at right guard, but let's not pretend like Cody Mock's been playing good football. I'm not going to. But, yeah, this is an interesting one. It's fascinating. Pick 17. Oh, my goodness. Abdul Carter going to the Seahawks. We saw Bengal do this yesterday. Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald, with his defensive background, would love a legit versatile front seven piece like Carter to add to the Seattle defense. So he's like, what, a Titus Bowser? To be fair, they have Titus Bowser already on the roster, I think. Actually, I'm fairly confident of that. Let me just pull it up and confirm. Let me just not say things off the top of my head that I think are true. Let me confirm them with actual facts, because, hey, I got the ability to pull it up. All right, here we go. I do not see. Is he on the injury list? I don't see him there. Oh, he's on the practice squad. He's on the practice squad. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But I mean, you get a guy that could probably play off ball. He's really good out in space. And he's got a lot of tools. He's still putting it together as an edge rusher. This feels high for me, unless he like tests out the gym, but I don't know. We'll see. The Miami Dolphins go Mason Graham. Hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If you don't know what that means, hey, if you get a horse as a gift, don't ask it to smile, because its teeth are ugly. And hey, what's Mason Graham doing here at pick 18? I have him a lot higher than this. I'm not going to look that gift horse in the mouth. Maybe there's something there I don't want to know. Maybe there's something there I don't want to know. I'm just going to say, thank you. I hope we got a baller there on the interior. Yeah, I mean, I personally like going offensive line for the Dolphins. But, I mean, if the value's there, if the talent's there, send it. We got the Chargers. They're going with Princely Umamielen out of Ole Miss, going edge. Chargers add youth to their outside pass rushing group with someone with years and years of SEC experience and high level of production. This is true. Does this mean you move off of Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, try to get cheaper? I feel like that's at least you're moving off from one of those guys to get cheaper, because you don't have to start Princely right away. But it's definitely fascinating. New Orleans Saints, they go with Emeka Egbuka, more Ohio State speed and route running refinement for a surprisingly efficient Saints team. Why are you going with Emeka Egbuka, though? I mean, I guess, does he become like the Juwan Jennings for Clint Kubiak's defense or offense? That's kind of feels like what the move is, right? Fascinating, very fascinating. I'm not against it. I don't love it, but saying that out loud, this is Juwan Jennings for Kubiak's offense, I kind of like it. Harold Perkins going to the Falcons at pick 21. Perkins has looked ready for the NFL since his freshman season. He could be a jack of all trades. Up front as a part-time linebacker, part bendy outside pass rusher. Yeah, you'd have to get versatile with him if you're not going to use him. Like, I think his best fit is probably as like a blitzing linebacker, a guy that you're going to blitz a lot, but also he's going to drop back quite a bit in coverage. I think that's probably his best usage. They got him listed at 225. Even if he is 225, that's still extremely undersized for the edge position. He's not going to survive there long term out on the edge. The Green Bay Packers, they too are not going to look that gift horse in the mouth, and they're taking Benjamin Morrison. It's kind of ridiculous that he ends up this far down. To me, like, this corner class, like, depending on how you view Travis Hunter, it feels similar to like Sauce, Steenley, McDuffie. It's just a lot of good players. They should all go in the top 10. That's my opinion there. Him going at 22 is a bit of a crime, but hey, if you get a good corner at pick 22, hell yeah. Hell freaking yeah. I'm kind of shocked he didn't go earlier. I could say that for a few of the prospects that haven't gone off the board yet, though. Quinn Ewers going to the New York Football Jets. Let's go. This is your quarterback of the future. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers got a little more time in him, and you ain't got to start. You got to start Ewers right away. So yeah, cool. That's a-okay. That's fine. I like it. But I do worry about the health of Quinn Ewers. Not like he's had like a big time injury, but like I do worry that he just won't play a full season every year. He's missed a game because of a shoulder injury a couple of years ago. It was just a game last year on the non-throwing shoulder. He had another shoulder injury that caused him to miss 3 games the year prior, so 2022. And then this year he's going to miss a game, maybe 2, because of abdominal injury. Might be just a bit more like over the top, like, okay, this is just worrying for the sake of worry, but it's worth noting at the very least. Quinn Ewers is definitely in that quarterback 1 discussion, though. Dallas Cowboys go with Ashton Genty, running back out of Boise State. Like, this dude's a freaking monster. I think he is far and away the top running back in this class. He has kind of answered some of my launch speed concerns with him, mainly in that Oregon game where it's like, yeah, you know what? No, he's got dash speed. No kidding. Dallas Cowboys, they really got nothing going at the running back position. Derek Harmon out of Oregon going to the Bengals. I'm unfamiliar with Derek Harmon. Interesting. So he's 6'5", 310 pounds. I'm recording this Wednesday, and after I upload these, right, and then I go do some evals. That's kind of how I finish up my Wednesdays, because I don't really have time on Thursday and Fridays to kind of work and watch tape. So like Derek Harmon, I'm intrigued. I'm gonna pull up his stuff. I'm gonna go take a gander at him after this. I can actually at least pull up his analytics right now. But 6'5", 310 pounds out of Oregon. He has been unblockable to begin the year at Oregon. 6'5". Okay, his size. He has NFL size and burst off the snap. Like, I remember seeing like Jordan Birch, eating, I think I can't remember the other guy, but I haven't sat down and like watched, like evaluated Oregon prospects since the season started. I did all my evals like over the summer, at least for Oregon prospects. Oregon hasn't been one of the teams I've gone back and watched for an eval yet. So let's take a look at this Derek Harmon. All right, so he's played 120 snaps, 16 pressures, once. Oh my gosh. What's that pass rush win rate? 23.2. Okay. 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 I'm watching some Derek Harmon after this. Holy freaking moly, dude. Oh, that's insane. Bird just put up a solid 14.8%. But that's ludicrous. 23.2 on the interior. You love to see that. All right, I'm in on it. Bengals need some help on the interior. For one, they're not healthy on the interior, so kind of is what it is. But dude, I might be in on this Derek Harmon guy. I'm gonna go watch him. After I edit this video. Isaiah Bond going to the Baltimore Ravens. This is why I do mock the mock. Sometimes it turns me on to a player. It turns me on to a player that I have not watched yet, and I add them to my list, and I go get a good watch in. Bond has been a playmaking, a big play waiting to happen to start 2024. He'll be another small, speedy weapon for Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. I don't hate it. I like it. If you want to really get the passing game going, you're going to need more guys outside of Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. The Chiefs did a good job of kind of shutting that down in week 1. So basically saying, hey, someone else needs to emerge. Isaiah likely was that guy, but you're kind of hoping you could get another receiver or two involved. So yeah, Isaiah Bond, I'm not against it. I like it. You got Jack Sawyer going to the Lions here. He just feels like a Dan Campbell type of guy. Might not have like the most ideal length, and like might not be like an elite level athlete like some of the other edge players in this class, but he is just like grind his teeth, just baller. He's a grinder, dude. He's a grinder, and Dan Campbell would love that. At 28, Colston Loveland going to the Philadelphia Eagles. It's gotten to the point where the idea of Dallas Goedert is better than actual Dallas Goedert. Okay, wow. Those are words. The Eagles add another talented tight end for Jalen Hurts. Like, I guess, yeah, you got to put Colston Loveland somewhere. But, like, golly, that seems kind of harsh, right? That seems a wee bit harsh. Just a wee bit harsh. Hey, Josh Downs officially will make his season debut this week. There we go. Just throwing that up there. But yeah, no, I don't love this pick for the Eagles. I mean, I feel like, hey, if you want a tight end, go get one day 2, day 3. Like, I'm a little bit more concerned with this team's ability to consistently get pressure from the edge. They just really haven't shown that thus far this year. I mean, so maybe edge is there in the back of my mind. Maybe you do like yeah, no. I mean, I guess Colston Loveland's not out of the cards now that I think about it. Not completely out of the cards there. Jalen Walker, they list him as a linebacker. I don't love it. Going to the Houston Texans. Walker can do it all in the front 7 range. Range to the football on the outside run and beat offensive linemen with speed to power. I like him as an edge. Like, he's close enough at 245. He could put that weight on. I am curious about his measurables. Maybe it ends up being kind of a hybrid. And you can work that in this scheme, honestly. You know what? I've kind of come around to it. Maybe I do like it. TJ Sanders out of South Carolina going to Buffalo. You're going to be pairing him up there with Ed Oliver. That might be hella fun. Sanders has had a big year. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, Sanders has had a big year. I don't really know, like, where else do you go for Buffalo? Maybe safety. Though DeMar Hamlin's played relatively well, you maybe could go with linebacker, edge. Like, there's kind of an edge problem right now. Outside of Gregory Rousseau. Well, Von Miller's playing good football. Von Miller's old as hell, and he's playing a DPR role. You could definitely swing on another, like, edge player. Like, AJ Epinesa, fine rotation player. That's about it, though. Siobhan Revel Jr.? I didn't know he had a junior there. But going to the Niners here, just adding more corner help. Like, he's definitely worth it. Like, he's worth the first round pick in my opinion. I'm a big fan of his. They just got Renardo Green last year, and I get it. He might not be your heir apparent to start opposite of Travarius Ward. But still, I mean, you draft him with the hopes that he can be that guy. Thus far through this season with the Niners, I'm going to pull up what the corner snaps have been, because we've actually seen a decent bit of Yadam. But with the cornerback snaps, you got Lenore playing predominantly from the slot. And then the other outside guy there. Yeah, it has been Yadam. Okay, I thought so, man. He's honestly played really good football. We've only 4 snaps of Green. Only 4 snaps of Green. Golly, I hope we get to see more of him. I really, really, really do. But yeah, sure, why not? Why not take a shot on Revel? I like him quite a bit. I think he's probably going to be someone that makes noise during the offseason draft process. And then with the final pick here for the Kansas City Chiefs, we got Ariante Urshi out of Minnesota, playing tackle. If he's here at this juncture, hell yeah, let's do it. Kingsley Sumatea sounds like he's going to be benched, a guy that they're going to continue to try to develop, but he had a kind of rough go of it the first 2 weeks. And I mean, that's fair. I thought he was unpolished coming out and thought he might need a little bit more time in the cooker. Jawan Taylor's Jawan Taylor. Good pass protector. Will make penalties. It is what it is. So maybe you look for a cheaper alternative to Jawan Taylor, and that can be Hershey. It certainly can. But yeah, that's the mock draft. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to go ahead, edit this video, drop it, schedule it for Friday. So you're welcome. You're going to see it on Friday. And after that, I'm going to go watch some Oregon defensive line. I'm going to watch Derek Harmon. And maybe I come away blown away. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.